is next in line for a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight title. But first we have an update on the health of this absent AEW talent. Prior to the debut episode of AEW Collision on June 17th, Jim Ross would reveal that he had suffered from a fall that affected his on-screen performance during his appearance in that night's main event, with him later announcing that he would be taking time off to heal. Taking to his Grilling JR podcast this week, Ross would update fans on his recovery and reveal the plan moving forward, and he would say, "I had a rough week on my leg. I'm not changing doctors, I'm just adding to doctors. I went to one doctor and he said, I have to get you to a specialist that can give you an antibiotic shot. Why can't you do it? That's not what I do. They recommend me to this guy. It's been a challenging week. I think we've made some improvements. We have a good game plan. I just need a break. I need a break in the action and move on. It will happen. I have good doctors, good care. If I don't get the results that we're looking for, I'll go to the Mayo Clinic and start over and see where it takes us. I'm okay, it's going to be alright. It's just frustrating as hell to have to deal with this every day." Jim would then reveal that he hopes to be back in action in time for AEW All in London at Wembley Stadium on August 27th and added, "I really want to make Wembley right now. I don't know if I can. I hope so. I don't want to say I have a target date, but you have to have some kind of goal. Wembley is my goal. I hope I'm back before then, but certainly Wembley is something I want to be part of." It remains to be seen how long JR will be off screen for at this point, although hopefully he can be back in time for AEW's biggest show to date later this summer. Next up is this WWE superstar set to return to UFC. In January 2018, former UFC Women's Bantamweight champion Ronda Rousey would officially make the jump from MMA to pro wrestling, with her signing a full-time WWE contract following her appearance at the end of the Women's Royal Rumble match that year. As of late, Rousey's future in the company has been in question following a report from Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that noted that she's on her way out of the door once she's wrapped up her feud with MMA training partner Shayna Baszler, with many wondering what her next move could be. Well, this week, current UFC fighter Chelsea Chandler would appear in a press conference ahead of UFC Vegas 77 this weekend, where she revealed that Ronda could be making a return to MMA, and she would say, "I've been hearing Ronda is coming back. I've heard she's coming back at 145. You never know. If I got out there and put on the performance I plan on putting on, I'll welcome her to 145. I think it would be a great fight. It has been a long time for her and things change, and I think people are onto her one-trick pony armbar. Money talks, and she would bring eyes to the sport again. I feel like her time in WWE is starting to go down, so I'd like to see it." Despite the claim, however, notable MMA journalist Ariel Helwani would rule out such a move on Twitter, claiming that the UFC Hall of Famer is not considering a return to the octagon, and he would tweet, "Ronda Rousey is not considering a UFC comeback, I'm told. No truth to the rumors started yesterday." With Rousey seemingly on her way out of WWE, her next move remains unclear, although if we can rule out a return to MMA in the future, a continuation of her acting career in Hollywood could be another option. And next up, some major changes are coming to All Elite Wrestling Television. Earlier today, a report would emerge from Fightful Select that revealed some changes are on the way in regard to AEW's on-screen presentation, as there has been a document sent out within the company that outlines some things that will require permission to do going forward, and some other things that have been outright banned. The protocols are said to have been developed by the AEW medical team, coaches, and referees to help protect talent, staff, crew, and fans. First off, let's start with the things that require permission from a coach in order to do, and the list includes spots and bumps on the ring apron and outside, table, ladder, chair spots in and out of the ring only allowed with padding, any elevated spots outside of the barricades, dives and ladder spots on stage, around the arena, and other places outside of the ring, all pile driver tombstone variations, including sit-down drivers, inverted poison hurricane ranas and vertebreakers, high-risk dives or top rope moves for 50, 630, 360, double moonsaults, shooting star press, etc. Intentional bleeding of any sort, not just blading, throwing people into, through, over ring steps, commentary table, bell table or guardrails, barricades, any weapon use including chairs, pipes, kendo sticks, hammers, ring bells, bats, chains, etc., as well as title belts, thumbtacks, skewers, barbed wire and other sharp puncturing objects, powders, aerosol sprays or liquids, throwing any weapons or objects, chairs, etc., choking, strangling with hands or a weapon or hanging spots, injury spots or angles whether or not medical is involved, called to the ring, any physicality in the crowd or crowd brawling, any physicality involving referees, managers, extras, celebrities or special guests. Now with the things that need approval out of the way, now let's look at what things are completely banned altogether, with the report noting, specifically, a document was sent out that outright banned unprotected chair shots to the head, shots to the back of the head, buckle bombs and blind moves backwards into a turnbuckle, fencing responses, unnatural position of arms following a concussion, seizure cells, spitting, bleeding in the crowd, weapons or projectiles in the crowd, taking drinks or food from guests in the crowd, or physical contact with the crowd. We're told that nothing with blood on it should be thrown into the crowd. The document would state that whilst there is always risk in pro wrestling, AEW wants to minimize that risk without compromising the quality of the talent's performances and ability to be creative. The report notes that the document says that providing the necessary parties with notice to plan creative stunts and spots is helpful. That way they can plan for them to be done as safely as possible. Talent were encouraged to speak to coaches, talent relations, medical team or legal as early as possible for things that would require such planning. While some talents have yet to receive the document, the reaction internally appears to be positive, with one talent noting that it is a good move and will help streamline the shows, avoid repeat spots and moves in general, and make more of the athletic spots that talent are capable of. Other talent have also agreed that the decision was a necessary tightening of the screws as the company grows. Next up, who is in line for a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight title? This week, the current champion, Seth Rollins, would speak with USA Today, where he would be asked who he wants to see step up to the challenge for his championship, with him naming 5 of the company's most popular names. The list he gave includes Drew McIntyre, Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, as well as longtime rival Cody Rhodes. Regarding Cody, this is what Rollins had to say. I would love for Cody Rhodes to come try to take it from me. If he can survive Brock Lesnar, I would love for him to try to. I'm better than I've ever been, you don't stand a chance. Whilst the American Nightmare looks set for his 3rd match with Brock Lesnar, where he turns his attention to after that remains to be seen, although Rhodes did recently state that he wouldn't consider winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship as finishing the story, although this will be of course down to where Vince McMahon sees him going forward, and if he sees a 2nd match with undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns on the card. And before you go, make sure you check out how AEW can change wrestling forever.